Rebel Nation. I'm your host, Cassie Soto, inside of the Las Vegas Review-Journal studio. Joining me today, as always, is Rebels beat writer for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Mark Anderson. Mark, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Cassie. Almost done.
Almost done. We only have a few more of these left. What are we going to do once this is done?
I don't know. We're going to have these empty days.
Oh man. Yeah. Counting down the days. It's all right. Counting down the days. Hopefully not going to have another heartbreak like the Rebels suffered on Saturday night, unfortunately, falling to San Diego State by a single point on Saturday. Mark, I'm sure you've gone back, looked at the tape, and the last few plays especially, you look at that. Yeah. Is it still a little painful, I guess, to say that it really was player error that lost the game for that one?
Yeah, I mean, everyone has to take responsibility. You know, Mbaki Jong jumps into the three-point shooter. You know, if he doesn't do that, the guy has to take a tough three. Maybe he makes it, who knows? But you know, if he at least just plays defense, then you force San Diego State to actually run a play or maybe call timeout. Who knows what happens down the stretch? You know, Amari Hardy steps out of bounds. It's like you got to know where you are on the court, and then he gets confused on the final play about where he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be down in the not the post, but in the corner,
right.
And he was on the wing, and that kind of threw off the whole play. They wound up getting a wide open shot, but it still wasn't the play they wanted. So, you know, ultimately the coaches have to take responsibility because they're the ones who, you know, put these players in a position and supposed to teach them what to do in these situations.
Right.
And so, but everyone really is responsible.
Yeah, and it is pretty sad. You know, obviously Nick Blair getting the ball in the final few seconds, not being able to make that shot, kind of looked, you know, off balance. How bad does that sting for a player? I mean, he had the rest of the game, you know, to make those shots, but that single play, how bad does that hurt?
Well, I'm sure it hurts him a lot. I mean, they're not in that position if it's not for his defense.
Right.
He basically shut down Jalen McDaniels in the second half. He held him to 4 points. So if he doesn't do that, they're not getting the final shot. And it's also unfair that he's the one who took the shot because the play really wasn't designed for him. So, you know, he took the shot. You know, he couldn't ask for a better look. He really wasn't pressured. I don't think he rushed it. He just missed it. So, you know, I'm sure he feels bad, but, you know, he's not the only one to blame for this.
Yeah. Well, like we said, just 3 games left this season, but the most important one might be the one coming up next. UNLV heading up to Reno. Well, we take a look at January's game. The Rebels lost by 17 points, shot 36% from the field, and even worse, 26% from the three-point line. What major adjustments need to be made for the Rebels to stand a chance at the Lawler Event Center?
That's a tough one because I don't know the matchup really changes that much, you know. I mean, the only thing what they got going in their favor is the Wolfpack's banged up. And so that's what they got to hope to take advantage of. Caleb Martin's missed yesterday's practice, missed today's practice. Will he play tomorrow? It's kind of iffy. He didn't play last year.
Right.
When went up there and they won the game. So that's not to say if he doesn't play tomorrow night, you know, he's going to go win, but at least there'll be an opportunity. His brother, Cody, has got his own issues. Jordan Caroline's hurt. Yeah. So, you know, they may not be as sharp as they've been, and that's what they've got to hope. They've got to hope for an off game. Because that's what happened last season. They got an off game from the Wolfpack. They got to get another off game tomorrow night. And if they do, then they got to play lights out. And last year, they relied really on Jovan Mooring. Tomorrow night, they got to rely on a full team.
Right.
So that's what it's got to take. It's got to take a full team effort.
Well, again, 3 games left in the season at UNR, back at home to face Boise State on Saturday, and then close out the season on the road against Colorado State next Saturday. Right now, the Rebs are 9-6 in conference. Mark, where do you think they finish?
Well, right now they're 5th. If they'd beaten San Diego State, that would have been huge because they would have finished 4th. They got Air Force coming up the rear on them. They're only, I think, a couple games behind. So these final games are huge. They don't want to drop to 6 and suddenly they're playing in that first day of the conference tournament. They got to find a way to stay at least 5th, get that first day bye, and probably get a rematch with San Diego State, which they show they can play with. If they can get the rematch with San Diego State, they can beat them on their home floor. But it's just, you know, they got to be careful the Air Force doesn't catch them. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see what the Falcons, if they make any moves coming up at the end of conference play. Mark, thank you, as always, for stopping by. Have a safe trip to Reno.
Thank you, Cassie.
All right, guys. Well, that'll do it for us. Once again, the Rebels will head up north to take on UNR on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. You can catch that on CBS Sports Network. For Mark Anderson, I'm Cassie Soto. Thank you for watching Rebel Nation.